What would Vin Diesel do? No regrets, no fear!
Is he coming in kind of fast?
So we just saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows movie, an early screening of that. I'm Justin, you're Ty.
I'm Ty. We're in this weird, awkward, talking phase where there's no cameras around us at all whatsoever. It's just us, you and me right here.
And I think that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was filmed a lot in that same way, where there was kind of an awkward talking phase, and they didn't realize there were cameras around them.
No.
Because most of the time was just a green screen.
And it was like a narrative story that we got to experience firsthand while eating popcorn.
I enjoyed Out of the Shadows much more than the first movie. So you didn't see the first movie. You went into this completely cold.
Yes.
The first movie was essentially a self-serious origin story that didn't need to be told because we already know where they come from. You don't really care, and they go into way too much depth and try to give these characters meaning and depth that doesn't exist.
You're a talking turtle. And you're a human nerd.
And Out of the Shadows throws all of that away and just makes this a Saturday morning cartoon.
And that's what I think I appreciated most about this particular movie was that there was no, BS origin story. We know where these things come from. We don't care about it. It just starts with them off, overlooking the Manhattan skyline, eating pizza, and then they get right into fighting.
Yeah, the Turtles come out, they're swinging, it's just a fun, kind of silly, way over the top, ridiculous martial arts from these CG characters.
Yes.
But something that really stood out for me was Stephen Amell, who's playing Casey Jones.
Casey Jones.
No explanation whatsoever. The guy reaches in his trunk, he has a hockey mask, he has a stick, and then he just goes to town beating the shit out of people, and he's really good at it. Yeah. Stephen Amell, of course, from Arrow fame, is a great martial artist. I love watching his choreography and these kinds of things.
And that's what I think I appreciated most about this movie. I do like the fight choreography. John Valera was the fight coordinator of this entire movie. He's done things like 300 as a stuntman. He was the fight coordinator for John Wick. My only complaint really was when the Foot Clan is fighting people like Will Arnett's character, and they just get their asses kicked because they're just dumb, fumbling idiots. At that point, you're just you don't believe any of that shit.
That's what makes this a cartoon, is that these Foot Clan, you have an entire army of people who have, I would assume, dedicated their entire life to martial arts and kicking ass. And Will Arnett can come in and just knock some guy sideways. Casey Jones has a hockey stick and knocks people out with a hockey puck. They're just Saturday morning cartoon characters who fall over.
It is very cartoon. Going down the trope line of the angry police chief who's mad at Casey Jones. I guess he's a cop in this. And I don't really know the origin story of Casey Jones, but whatever. It's they talk to themselves. They're wow, maybe he did this. No, I bet they went that way, And then at one moment they're on a plane to Brazil.
Oh boy.
And then and then the Bebop and Rocksteady stuff was great.
You're a rhinoceros. And you're I don't know what you are.
They were huge in the cartoon. I think for the nostalgia factor and paying homage to the cartoon, the series, they hit the mark on the cheesiness, on the corniness, but it doesn't try to take itself too seriously. It's very self-referential. They know what they're doing. They even had little cameos from Carmelo Anthony and Alessandro Ambrosio, who are just randomly in there, by Will Arnett's side. And then you had the Vanilla Ice song.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go!
It was a nostalgia trip in so many ways, and as horrible as the acting is, particularly for Megan Fox, she fits April O'Neil so well, but she was so much less of a real character than the completely CG Turtles and Rocksteady and Bebop through the entire film. And I loved Rocksteady and Bebop. They were so much fun.
They were very affectionate to each other in really stupid ways, they were in the cartoon. They were two big bros, and
We gotta keep our eyes out for intruders. Well, what do intruders look like? Anybody that's not a big pig or a big rhino.
And you know what the fact is we didn't have to go into some crazy origin story about why they're Bebop and Rocksteady, We had Tyler Perry as a mad scientist in this movie, for God's sake, that made them into who they are. There doesn't need to be any exposition. You don't care about the plot holes, and I always feel that's the sign of a good kind of fun action flick when you just don't give a shit about the plot holes.
You couldn't care about the plot. If you thought about the plot for any amount of time,
you check your brain at the door.
You have to.
Yeah, and I thought that adding those two elements, you're right. The stars of this movie are all the CG characters. I want to attribute some of the bad acting just to the shitty script that I think that a lot of those characters had, because I don't think Stephen Amell's a bad actor. I don't even think Megan Fox is that bad of an actress. I just think that what they had to work with is crap, and that's just because who cares? You're here to see the Turtles.
And Will Arnett, of course, stole his scenes a kind of a weird role bringing him back because he was the person who got to take credit for the Turtles destroying Shredder in the previous movie. And this time around, he kind of plays a braggadocio character who is the ultimate
phony.
bad guy. It's silly and it's phony, but and it shows so much how the movie is over the top that he's even believable as this kind of character. Like it's a movie that the first movie should have been. It has its tongue firmly in its cheek. You know that nobody on that film is like, I'm making the next Citizen Kane. Like, no, they know this is a silly popcorn movie you're gonna see once, and it's just fun Saturday morning cartoon.
We got company. Mikey, clear our right flank.
Nunchucks Giganticus!
You know, I thought it was funny. I thought it was very lighthearted. I don't think it took itself seriously at all, and I don't think it should have at all whatsoever. And it was a dumb, fun flick.
And it's a movie that obviously sets itself up for another sequel. I think the true power of this is, do you want to see another one? Would you go and see another Turtles movie after seeing this one?
I don't think they need, I mean, I guess it will depend on how much money this movie makes, you know? I don't think we need another Turtles movie.
There's gonna be another one.
But I'm sure there'll be another one. I mean, obviously, again, like I said, no one dies in this movie, by the way. Like, this is made for kids. This movie is made for kids. It kind of makes me think about the cartoon. Like in the cartoon, the foot soldiers were actually robots. They weren't even like live humans because I think they were worried about parents freaking out about turtles beating up people. So like they were just robotic. So if this movie does well with kids, which I'm sure it will this weekend, yeah, I'm sure they'll make another one. You know, do I need to see another one? No, I'm good. I'm fine.
I don't think I'd watch this movie again, but I'd probably watch a sequel. It's renewed my faith in the Turtles as this kind of silly, fun property that is both fun for kids and fun for adults.
Yeah, I think taking your kids to see this would be great. Again, like I said, there's like, the violence is even cheesy as hell. You know, like I think at one point Will Arnett jumps off a ship container and knocks over like a Foot Clan soldier, and he's just like, yeah, I'm awesome. You know, I mean, it's very goofy like that. You said like yourself, cartoon all the way.
Yeah, cowabunga.
Exactly.
Looking good, bro! Whoa. Thanks, man.